Yugi versus Kaiba.
I think you and I are destined to do this forever.
These two have had countless duels, whether it be in the manga, anime, the movies, or voice actor duels. But today we'll be breaking down a duel made by a fan called Crispy Synchron. For a bit of background, the duel was an alternative ending for Dark Side of Dimensions. My interpretation is that Agami wasn't in the movie in this timeline, since he is never mentioned by the characters, and it shows that Seto was able to rebuild the puzzle and reawaken the Pharaoh's soul, something that he wasn't able to do because of Agami in the original movie. And once he was done with that, Seto took Yugi to his satellite so they could settle this personal grudge match one-on-one. Or maybe the Agami stuff did happen and Seto was just like, well, technically our duel never had conclusion, so let's settle this one-on-one. And the one place where interdimensional beings powered by Millennium items from 5,000 years ago won't bother us.
Space!
Also, Seto time traveled to the future to learn from Jack Atlas how to synchro summon. I highly recommend checking out that video, not only because it applies context and has its own unique format of Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling, but also because it's one of the few times I've seen a fan-made Seto Kaiba duel that isn't just summonblueeyes.deck. Now let's check out this video that's summonblueeyes.deck. But yeah, Seto can synchro summon, just so you know. Also, this duel uses 4,000 life points, which is weird because in the movie they used 8,000 life points, but whatever, just a weird thing. It doesn't really matter. It's an alternate universe after all. Though technically that does mean that this fan film is more accurate to the manga than the movie that's a continuation of the manga. But whatever, it's just a weird thing. Let's just quit our stalling and get brawling. The duel begins and Yugi goes first. He draws and his opening hand consists of Beta the Electromagnetic Warrior, Dark Magician Girl, Chronicle Sorceress, Clear Karibo, Palladium Oracle Mana, and Card Destruction. He begins by normal summoning Beta! Its effect activates, letting him add a level 4 or lower Magnet Warrior monster from his deck to his hand. He fetches level 3 Alpha of the Electromagnetic Warrior. Yugi ends his turn. It's Kaiba's turn. He draws and his opening hand consists of Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End, Melody of Awakening Dragons, the White Stone of Ancients, Cards of Consonance, Dragon Spirit of White, and an unknown card. If you want to take a crack at what these cards are, be my guest. The so-called future of dueling has made it so every card looks the exact same and no card has a name, just a number code. You have to rely on the pictures and nothing else. If this is the future of dueling, I'll be happy to stay in the past. Anyway, I'm going to say the unknown card is Dragon Revival Rhapsody. It'll work. Seto begins by activating Cards of Consonance, discarding his Dragon Tuner White Stone of Ancients to draw 2 cards, which are Kaiba Man and the White Stone of Legend. Then he activates Melody of Awakening Dragons, discarding the White Stone of Legend to add Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon from his deck to his hand. And because Legend was sent to the graveyard, he can add another Blue Eyes White Dragon from his deck to his hand. Now he reveals the original Blue Eyes White Dragon to special summon the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon from his hand. Next he normal summons Kaiba Man. He then uses its effect, attributing it to special summon from his hand
the original Blue Eyes White Dragon!
Seto says that he has enough power to wipe Yugi out, but Yugi responds by activating Beta's quick effect. By attributing it, he can special summon a different Magnet Warrior monster from his deck. He special summons Epsilon in defense mode. Now Epsilon's effect activates. By sending another Magnet Warrior from his deck to the graveyard, Electromagnetic Warrior Gamma, Epsilon can copy that monster's name until the end phase. Then Epsilon can bring back a Magnet Warrior from the graveyard. It revives Beta, so Yugi gets to search another Magnet Warrior, and he takes Delta the Magnet Warrior. Battle phase, both of Kaiba's dragons destroy both of Yugi's magnets. Kaiba ends his turn, and because he did, Ancient's effect activates from the graveyard, so he can summon any Blue Eyes monster from his deck. He special summons Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon in defense mode, and because it was summoned, Kaiba can add a ritual spell card from his deck to his hand, and because it's the end phase, he can add a level 8 or higher dragon monster to his hand. He searches Chaos Form and Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon. It's Yugi's turn. He draws and gets Breaker, the Magical Warrior. He summons Alpha, the Electromagnet Warrior, and on summon, he can add a level 8 Magna Warrior to his hand. He adds Berserkion. Now he banishes Alpha, Beta, and Gamma from his field and grave to special summon Berserkion, the Electromagna Warrior. Next, Yugi activates Card Destruction, so both players discard their entire hand and draw new cards equal to the number they discarded. Yugi discards his mediocre hand, then draws 6 cards, which are Magician of Dark Illusion, Double Spell, Chronicle Magician, Soul Servant, Black Illusion, and an unknown spell card, which we'll call Diffusion Wave Motion. Kaiba, meanwhile, discards his entire strategy to draw 6 new cards, which are Damage Condenser, Dragon's Fighting Spirit, Fake Trap, King of Dragons, Interdimensional Matter Transporter, and Ultimate Fusion. Now Yugi activates Berserkion's effect, banishing 2 Magnet Warriors, Delta and Epsilon, from his grave to destroy 2 of Kaiba's cards. Both the OG Blue Eyes and alternative Blue Eyes are destroyed. Battle phase, Berserkion attacks and destroys Abyss Dragon. Main phase 2, Yugi sets Black Illusion and Soul Servant face down and ends his turn. Smart decision by Yugi to save that card destruction for later and let Kaiba set up his entire strategy just so he'd have to throw it all away. Very intelligent doing to not just shotgun it right there. Good work. It's Kaiba's turn. He draws and gets Raigeki. Kaiba admits that Yugi did stop his Chaos Max from being summoned, but now he has a new problem to deal with. He activates Ultimate Fusion. Now by shuffling 2 OG Blue Eyes and an alternative that's treated as an OG Blue Eyes while in the graveyard back into his deck, he can Fusion Summon
Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon!
Battle phase, he orders Neo to break Berserkion. Berserkion is busted, and Yugi takes 1500 points of damage. But because Berserkion left the field, he can revive his Alpha, Beta, and Gamma from banishment. He brings them all back in defense mode, but gets none of their effects because they have no targets. But Yugi won't get off that easily because Kaiba activates his quick play spell card Dragon's Fighting Spirit. Now Ultimate Dragon gains 1 attack for every specially summoned monster Yugi controls. Then with its own effect, by sending more Blue Eyes fusions to the grave, it gets 2 more additional attacks. So with the 2 more Neos that Seto sends to the graveyard, he has 5 attacks. Ultimate attacks and destroys Yugi's magnets. Kaiba tells Yugi that this duel is over, but the Pharaoh tells Yugi that that's not true. He offers to help Yugi one final time to set his soul free for good, and Yugi accepts the offer. I don't care how old I get, I'll always put a smile on my face. Kaiba is thrilled to see that all of his hard work has finally paid off. His only regret is that it won't last any longer. Neo still has 2 attacks left, so he orders a direct attack immediately. But Yugi didn't leave the Pharaoh defenseless. He activates his quick play spell card Soul Servant, putting Magician of Chaos on top of his deck so that he may draw it next turn. Kaiba says that was pointless, because there won't be a next turn. But Yami disagrees. Because he activated a spell card during Kaiba's turn, he gets to summon Magician of Dark Illusion from his hand. He summons it in defense mode. Then when the replay occurs, Yami activates his trap Black Illusion. Now all dark spellcasters cannot be destroyed by battle for the rest of this turn. Kaiba admits that it would be a shame if he won that quickly anyway. During his main phase 2, he sets Fake Trap, Damage Condenser, and Interdimensional Matter Transporter face down and ends his turn. Potential alternative play with Ultimate Fusion. See, it could have destroyed Berserkion, and then Seto activates his Dragon's Fighting Spirit, then he has up to 6 attacks when the magnets come back. But seeing how the Dark Illusion, Black Illusion combo ultimately makes the extra attacks pointless, it doesn't really matter in the end. In fact, if he did what I suggested, he would have been able to do any damage this turn. He would have just had extra attacks to do nothing with. That's probably the same reason why he didn't just shotgun the Raigeki. He thought he had game already, so why waste a card that he might need later? Yugi is known for getting out of seemingly impossible situations after all. Best to save that card for later. So yeah, no misplay, just an alternative play is all. But ultimately he made the better move. Moving on, it's Yami's turn. He draws and gets Magician of Chaos. He starts by activating Double Spell. By discarding a spell card from his hand, he can activate a spell card from Kaiba's graveyard. He discards the Fusion Wave Motion in order to activate the ritual spell card Chaos Form! Now he attributes his level 7 Magician of Dark Illusion to ritual summon level 7 Magician of Chaos! And because a monster with 2500 attack or defense was summoned, Yami can special summon Chronicle Magician from his hand in defense mode, which he does. Chronicle's other effect activates. On summon, it can either boost a Blue Eyes or Dark Magician by 2500 attack and defense points. And Magician of Chaos is always treated as Dark Magician while in the field or in the graveyard, so its attack rises to 5000. But Yami still isn't finished. He activates the second effect of the Soul Servant in his graveyard. By banishing it, Yami can draw 1 card for every Magician Girl, Palladium, and or Dark Magician on his field and engraved. So he draws 3 cards, which are Bond Between Teacher and Student, Wonder Wand, and Gold Sarcophagus. Now, since a card effect was activated, Magician of Chaos can destroy a card on the field. Yami targets Seto's middle set card, but Kaiba expected that. He activates a set Fake Trap. So now Yami's card has to target it instead of the middle card. Fake Trap is destroyed and Yami moves on. He activates Bond between teacher and student. Since Yami technically controls the Dark Magician, he can switch summon the Dark Magician Girl from his hand, deck, or graveyard. So the card that changed the fanbase forever is summoned to the field. After that, Yami can set a Magician-centered card to the field, and he sets Dark Magic Twin Burst. Next he equips Dark Magician Girl with Wonder Wand to give her an additional 500 attack points. Now Yami activates Dark Magic Twin Burst, which gives Dark Magician the combined attack points of all Dark Magician Girls he controls for this turn, putting it at 7,500! Battle phase. Yami orders Magician of Chaos to attack Neo Ultimate, destroying it and dealing 3,000 points of damage to Kaiba. But before Yami can attack with his Magician Girl for game, Kaiba reveals his trap Damage Condenser. Now, by discarding one card, King of Dragons, he can special summon a monster from his deck with attack points equal to or less than the damage he just took. He summons Maiden with Eyes of Blue. Seeing that Kaiba just summoned a zero attack monster, he does something rarely done in a Yu-Gi-Oh show. He assumes that Seto must be up to something and doesn't automatically assume it's a useless card. No, seriously, if I had a nickel for every time in a Yu-Gi-Oh product they went, that thing has low attack points, it's useless, I could buy Konami! Yami moves into his main phase 2 and activates Wonder Wand's effect, sending it and Dark Magician Girl to the graveyard to draw yet another 2 cards. He gets Dimension Wall and Gaia, the Magical Knight. After that, he activates Gold Sarcophagus. He banishes Piercing the Darkness from his deck, and 2 of his turns he can add to his hand. But if Yugi won't trigger Maiden's effect, Kaiba will just do it himself. He activates a set Interdimensional Matter Transporter. By targeting a monster he controls, he can banish it until the end phase. He banishes Maiden, but because Maiden was targeted, Seto gets to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from his deck. Yami sets Dimension Wall face down, and it's his turn. So Maiden returns to the field, and Magician of Chaos's stats return to normal. Now, just to bring it up, Yami could have had Magician of Chaos target the Neo Ultimate Dragon. Problem is that Seto has 2 Neo Ultimate Dragons in the graveyard, and those things in the graveyard have the effect that if a Blue Eyes monster is targeted by a card effect, that card effect is negated, and the card that caused the problem is destroyed. So it's a good thing that Yami targeted one of the back row cards instead. He may have missed in the end due to Fake Trap, but he still didn't get his own monster blown up. Also, the sheer irony of Yami activating Gold Sarcophagus is amazing to me. I know it's not his deck, he didn't put the cards in, but it's just amazing to me that the card that cost him a duel could now be the card that saves an entire duel for him. It's just bloody brilliant. But yeah, no misplays, I just want to talk about that for a second. Moving on, it's Kaiba's turn. He draws and gets Silver's Cry. Seto tells Yami that he's put in a lot of work to bring him back to life. That includes traveling to the future in order to master a method that will defeat him. He has his level 1 Maiden tune his level 8 Blue Eyes to synchro summon level 9 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Now he activates Raigeki, destroying all of Yami's monsters. Battle phase, Kaiba attacks with Spirit Dragon, attempting to go for game, but Yami tells him that just because his dragon can't be targeted doesn't mean that he can't be. Yami reveals his trap Dimension Wall. Now Yami will take no damage from this attack, and all that damage will be reflected right back at Seto himself. Since that's enough to kill him, Kaiba chains by activating Spirit Dragon's effect, tributing it to special summon Azure Eyes Silver Dragon from his extra deck in defense mode. And since there's no longer an attack occurring, Dimension Wall fizzles out. But Yami isn't safe yet, so activates Quick Play spell card Silver's Cry from his hand, reviving a normal monster from Kaiba's graveyard, and it revives the original Blue Eyes White Dragon in attack mode. So orders another direct attack from Blue Eyes White Dragon, attempting to go for game, but Yami chastises Kaiba for underestimating Yugi, because he left him with one last lifeline. He banishes Clear Karibo from the grave, then he gets to draw 1 card, and if it's a monster, Yami can summon it, and that monster will become the new attack target. But if it's anything else, the direct attack will connect. Yami bets it all on the heart of the cards and draws Curse of Dragonfire. He summons it in defense mode, and Kaiba kills it faster than anyone can say, "Hi!" Seto ends his turn. It's Yami's turn. He draws and gets Miracle Locust. Standby phase, turn 1 on Gold Sarcophagus. Main phase 1, since Yami controls no monsters, he can normal summon Gaia, the Magical Knight, without tributing. And because it was summoned, he can special summon a level 5 dragon monster from his hand or graveyard. So Curse of Dragonfire is revived in defense mode. Now Dragonfire's effect activates. It lets Yami conduct a fusion summon without the need for polymerization. he fuses Gaia and Dragon Fire to fusion summon Sky Galloping Gaia, the Dragon Champion. Now Sky Galloping's effect activates, letting Yami add Spiral Spear Strike from his deck to his hand. Next he activates his continuous spell card, which lets his Gaia inflict piercing damage, and then he enters his battle phase. He orders Galloping to attack the original Blue Eyes, then activates Galloping's effect, letting him switch to Blue Eyes to defense mode. So Blue Eyes is destroyed, and Seto takes 100 points of damage, and then the second effective Spiral Spear Strike activates. Because of Dragon Champion inflicted damage to Seto, Yami can draw 2 cards, then discard 1. He draws Magician's Defense and Spiritual Swords Revealing Light, then discards the Spiritual Swords. Main phase 2, he sets Magician's Defense and Miracle Locust face down and ends his turn. Now an alternative play he could have done is had the Dragon Champion attack Azure Eyes, switch it to attack mode, and then prevent Kaiba from reviving any dragons from his graveyard next turn. The thing is that Galloping's Battle Position effect only activates when it's the one attacking, so he'd have no defense if the Blue Eyes was attacking it instead. And also, the ability to draw 2 cards and discard 1 only activates if it's piercing battle damage. That would have been regular battle damage he inflicted onto Azure Eyes, so it wouldn't have activated and he couldn't get his extra cards. So despite the dragon being about to come right back, Yami made the best decision. Also yes, Azure does prevent Seto's dragons from being targeted, but Galloping doesn't target, so yeah, just to clear that up. Anyway, it's Kaiba's turn, and the penultimate turn of the duel. He draws and gets Advanced Draw. During the standby phase, Azure revives a normal monster from his graveyard. Old Blue Eyes is back! Now Seto activates Advanced Draw, triggering the Blue Eyes that just came back to draw 2 cards, which are Beacon of Light and Storming Mirror Force. Now he activates the quick spell Beacon of Light. Now because he has 3 or more Blue Eyes monsters in his graveyard, he can revive one of them with its effect negated, and that monster is equipped with this card. And that monster will gain 1 attack for every Blue Eyes in his graveyard, but it's the only monster he controls that's allowed to attack. He revives Neo Ultimate! Now he banishes Abyss Dragon from his graveyard to give each of his level 8 or higher dragons an extra 1,000 attack point boost. Neo Ultimate goes up to 5,500 and Azure goes up to 3,500. Yami realizes that 1 strike from Neo is enough to beat him, so activates his trap card Miracle Locust. This gives his dragon an extra 1,000 attack points, putting it at 3,600, but Seto doesn't take any damage for the rest of this turn. And he gets to draw 1 card, and he gets the Ultimate Creature of Destruction. Seto thanks Yami for the free card, but still has his dragon waste Yami's. Sky Galloping is destroyed, and Yami takes 1,900 points of damage, putting him at just 600. Now Seto orders his next attack with Neo, but Yami banishes Spiritual Swords from his graveyard. By doing so, Seto cannot attack directly for the remainder of the turn. Main phase 2, Seto sets the Ultimate Creature of Destruction and Storming Mirror Force face down, and ends his turn. Now, it's the final turn of the duel, and after a quick pep talk from Yugi, both he and Yugi draw and get Magician's Soul. Standby phase, Gold Sark resolves, and Yami gets a continuous spell card Piercing the Dark straight to his hand. He then immediately activates Piercing the Darkness during his main phase 1. Then he sends the Magician of Black Chaos from his deck to the graveyard, just for summon Magician's Soul in defense mode. Now it activates Soul's effect, sending Spiral Spear Strike and Magician's Defense from the field of the graveyard in order to draw 2 new cards. He gets Chaos Sorcerer and Dark Magic Circle. But that's not all. Because Magician's Defense went from the field of the graveyard, Yami gets to summon a spellcast from his graveyard. He revives Dark Magician Girl. Next he banishes the Light Attribute Magical Knight and Dark Attribute Dragonfire from the graveyard to special summon Chaos Sorcerer in attack mode. Next he activates Dark Magical Circle, letting him look at the top 3 cards of his deck, and if he finds a spell or trap that lists Dark Magician in its text, he may add one of them to his hand, then put the other 2 cards on top of his deck in any order he desires. And of the 3 cards, he only has one option, Destined Rivals, a trap that he can't activate this turn. At this moment, Yami admits that he's out of options and out of ideas. But Yugi steps in, saying he still has one last trick up his sleeve. Yugi has learned a thing or two since they last met, and knows a way out of the situation. Yami tells Yugi that if that's true, he truly has surpassed him, and he hands control of the duel back to Yugi. Seto is enraged. He wanted to defeat the Pharaoh, but Yugi tells Seto that he did defeat the Pharaoh, but he's never beaten him. Yugi adds Destined Rivals from his deck to his hand, then puts the other 2 cards on top of his deck,
putting Rod on top of BLS.
Seto says that there isn't a single card in Yugi's deck that can beat the one that he made through time travel, but Yugi asks him, What about a deck made from crossing dimensions? He builds the overlay network using level 6 Chaos Sorcerer and Dark Magician Girl. Yugi Xyz summons rank 6 Maji Magician Gal. He activates Magician Gal's effect, detaching Chaos Sorcerer, then banishing destined rivals from his hand to revive Kaiba's King of Dragons. Then Yugi rebuilds the overlay network with Magician Gal, ranking up into rank 7 Ebon Illusion Magician. Yugi activates Ebon's effect, detaching Dark Magician Girl
to summon from my deck, Dark Magician!
Circle and Piercing's effects now trigger. So in reverse chain order, because a normal monster was summoned, Piercing the Darkness lets Yugi draw one card, and he gets Magician's Rod. Now Circle's effect activates. Since a Dark Magician was summoned, Yugi can banish one card Kaiba controls, and he takes aim at Beacon of Light, which will destroy Neo Ultimate with it. Seto chains with his trap card, the Ultimate Creature of Destruction. Now by targeting a Blue Eyes monster he controls, Neo, for the rest of the turn, that monster is unaffected by card effects, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and any monster that battles it is the one that will be destroyed instead. So Beacon dies, but Neo survives. Unfaltered, Yugi normal summons Magician's Rod, which lets Yugi add one card with Dark Magician in its text from his deck to his hand. He adds Secrets of Dark Magic. Now for his big final play, Yugi activates his Secrets of Dark Magic in order to perform a fusion summon. Fusing all 5 of his spellcasters together, the fusion summon
in the unstoppable Quintet Magician!
Quintet's on-summon effect activates, destroying every card Seto controls except for Neo, so Azure Eyes and Storming are ejected into space. Battle phase, Yugi orders Quintet to attack Neo. Seto reminds Yugi that Neo has 5,500 attack points, so this move is madness. But Yugi tells him that this isn't madness. It's all thanks to a lifeline the Pharoah left him, Piercing the Darkness. Because Quintet was summoned using a normal monster, it gains attack points equal to its attack target. So Quintet's attack points skyrocket to 10,000! Quintet obliterates Neo, Seto takes 4,500 points of damage, Yugi wins the duel, proving himself to Seto as the true king of games, and Yami says goodbye one more time, reminding Yugi that their bond can never and will never be broken. So could Kaiba have beaten Yugi? Well, I think it's been proven no. The fact of the matter is that Kaiba just did everything correctly. He didn't get tunnel vision, no big misplays, didn't break any rules. It's just that Yami and Yugi had the better plays and knew how to play around all of Kaiba's plays. And having done them for years, they've naturally found ways to deal with his plays. Yami and Yugi dueled like a tag team, and whenever one was out of ideas, the other one was there to step in and take care of things. It was great to see the Pharoah one more time, but also great to see that Yugi didn't need the Pharoah in order to win. Name a more iconic duo than Yami and Yugi. The only time both duelists were caught off guard is when they busted out a new summoning technique. And Yugi's is especially more questionable, since he learned this one off-screen. I guess when him and the crew entered the Millennium Puzzle in the final arc, that technically counts as crossing dimensions? Or maybe they did do the final duel with Agami, and the whole dimension dueling thing gave Yugi an idea. But I can only speculate. It's a part of the duel I'm not overly thrilled with, and I kind of wish there was a bit more of an explanation, but it's an alternative ending, and it's all for fun at the end of the day, so I guess I can give it a pass. Though, when you think about it, many people consider Kaiba the main character of Dark Side of Dimensions. So us following his journey to discover a new power, while the antagonist, Yugi, just pulls one out of his butt, really does lean into that theory. Though, even if Kaiba is the main character of Dark Side of Dimensions, he ain't the main character of the original series. Even if it does feel like the Seto Kaiba show at times. Plus, it does give another reason why Yugi is the true king of games. But what do you all think? Did you notice any misplays that I missed? Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to check out Crispy Synchron's channel. They do amazing 3D duels and actually started their own animated show called Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic. Please go check it out and support the official release, of course, and in your own time when you want to. But with all that said, I thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and rest in peace Kazuki Takahashi. Without your vision and the creation of these characters, none of this would be possible today. And with that, I thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see all of you next time. Goodbye!